Hello guys, so welcome to my channel. Today let's look at the DeepSeek AI. So this DeepSeek has been making waves in the past few weeks, and today let's look at how you can use the DeepSeek LLM, how you can use it securely without giving out your confidential data. There has been a lot of issues, a lot of discussions around whether DeepSeek is safe for use because the servers, the processes that power this LLM or AI is being stored or processed from China. So there has been a lot of questions about data privacy. So today we'll look at that. So DeepSeek AI operates directly from China, and it has been proven to have better performance because it uses a distilled model, and it outperformed popular models, including ChatGPT, right? And so it's a super fast model, right? So we're going to look at, in terms of performance, is faster than current model, but we want to be concerned about, whether the data, our data, or the way we interact with DeepSeek, whether it's secure, whether our data is secure and safe, right? So you can access DeepSeek from their website if you go to www.deepseek.com. Here I am on the DeepSeek website. So once you go to deepseek.com, you can either sign in with your Google as a single sign-on, or you sign up, you open an account fresh. Also, I've already signed into my DeepSeek, so I'll just go to start now. So just to show you how, okay, so I have to log in now. So I'm logging in with my Google. So I just want to show us how the Google, works. It's, kind of a flexible model, right? Easy to use, and according to report, they didn't really spend much to develop this model compared to what was spent to develop other LLMs. So yeah, let's just interact with. So you can either so this is DeepSeek R1. So they have a lot of models. So I think this is just DeepSeek R1, and you can put it in deep think mode, which solve problem by just thinking through it, reasoning, using its reasoning ability. Or you can make it to go to the web and try and find out something. So let me just choose the web, and let me tell it to go to TechCrunch. And give the current trending news. So let's see if I've instructed the DeepSeek AI to go on the internet, to go to the TechCrunch website. So you're saying you can browse the website in real life. So that's why I put it in search mode, but I can just ask it. So DeepSeek is now on DeepThink, so I'll just give you some instruction to ask it some questions now. So I just asked it, which continent is Brazil located? So you see, it's trying to think through the questions and give it the answer. So that's the functionality for the DeepThink. So it's enabled the DeepSeek to give you answer by just thinking through it, using its reasoning ability. And you can as well use the search, so that you allow DeepSeek to go on the internet and look for answers for you. So you can see that it really came out with a lot of reasoning before it came to a conclusion, right? So, and you can say Brazil is located in the continent of South America. So this is how but how do you know that the way you interact with DeepSeek, if it is secure or not? Because as you can see here, we can make it go on the internet to look for. So let me see, what is the latest event in Brazil? So I toggle it to search for you to go on the internet and try, and let's see if it will go and fetch some events online about Brazil. So this just to show you that DeepSeek can go on the internet and fetch results, and it uses data or server stored in China. So you want to be concerned about the data privacy and some of those. So you can see it's currently giving me some latest events on a political development, economic trends, and so on and so forth. But really, if you're using it personally or you're trying to feed information into it, all right, it will be confidential information. You want to be sure that your data, your information is secure, right? So, but if you let's go to the DeepSeek privacy page under. You'll see that information that DeepSeek AI collects includes information they collect include your device, the model of your device, the operating system, the IP address, and so these are confidential information that you can use to track someone or to identify someone or to target someone, whether for ads or any other purposes which you do not authorize. So this is why is we have to and if you go under data storage, so here if you go under data storage, right, you'll be able to see that your data, the server and your data that you interact with DeepSeek is being stored in China. So you see, please be aware that our servers are located in the People's Republic of China. So though China have some privacy laws, data privacy laws like the PIPL, that's a personal information protection law that talk about how your data is being collected, right? How it's being stored and who can have access to this data. But you can just trust anyone and just hand over data, not just DeepSeek. And this also goes for other AI models that that they collect data, so you don't know what they are doing with your data, even if they have some. So you have to also take some extra measures. You also have to take some extra measures to protect your data, right? So that's part of what I want to talk to us about, how you can safely interact with most of this model, right? So the OAPS, the Open Web Application Security Project, they have the LLM guidelines, how you can safely use LLM, right? If you search for OAPS LLM top 10, so they have guys on how you can, right? So I'll drop most of this link for us later so that we can go through them. So they have the top 10 vulnerabilities for LLM and how you can protect about them. So drop the links in the description section later. So but the thing is but one thing I want to talk about is that you can as well ensure that information you feed into these AI models, that you don't feed in confidential information. So this is from from the user perspective, from the developer's perspective, because some developers might want to use this DeepSeek AI or any other LLM as a downstream or to as agent. They want to use them as agent to incorporate into their applications or some other functions. So they have to ensure that the input they supply to it or that they use to fine-tune it, that is free. The data that they use to fine-tune this model, that is free from free from data poisoning or any confidential information. But from the user perspective, right, I just want to give an example here of how you can ensure that you're not deliberately feeding those confidential information into any AI model. And this is in line with the OAPS LLM number 2, which talks about you try and make sure that you don't supply confidential information into AI. So look at the example here. If I have this example and I say, hello, I am John Adams, your name is a confidential information, especially is a full name. I'm currently working as an account clerk, so this is the job title. with Dogo Inc. So this is the place of where the person is working in the San Francisco Bay Area. So this is the location where the person goes to work every day. And I was born in 1981. So this is the person giving his year, right? His birth year, and currently hands $45,000 US. So this is the person also giving out what was it called, salary information, which is confidential. So, but this person is trying to engage with the AI to say, I need you to give me suggestions on how I can improve my career and earn more. So there are a lot of, so it could go beyond this. I know some people that, they feed in files, confidential files into AI to summarize for them. So, but you want to make sure that you take some extra measures to, try and remove those sensitive or those confidential information from there before you feed it into AI, right? I understand financial reports, account reports, or technical reports, or any other report, business reports, or any other confidential report could be bulky, and time. It will take you time to read them. You just want to use an AI to summarize those reports for you, but make sure you do your due diligence by either anonymizing or obscuring, removing confidential information from there, right? So, like for this one now, for this sentence now, I'll show you how. If I anonymization just means that you're removing, confidential data from them. So I've transformed it into, hello, I'm an employee of an organization who fall between the age range of 20 to 40 years old. You see, I'm not giving my full name. I'm not giving the name of of the place where I work. I'm also not giving my exact age, but I'm giving a range here, right? So that it helps the AI to be able to, give me a right suggestion, and also currently earn below my worth. So you see, I didn't just say this is the worth. The salary information also has been removed, right? Then I'm skilled in financial and record keeping, so I have to give the AI, my skills so that you'll be able to make adequate recommendation, and I need you to give me suggestions on how I can improve my current number. So with this now, if you compare it with earlier one that has confidential information and this one that I've removed some confidential information, this is still okay, right? At least compared to the earlier one, so you can feel it. So anonymization is a good technique in ensuring that your confidential information is not being. So when you anonymize data, you remove those sensitive information, right? Whether randomly or any other means. So one way also to hide confidential information is to mask them, data masking. You'll be familiar with this with your credit card, maybe or credit card or numbers or other confidential information stored in databases. So, for example, my account number is, you give, enough the first and the maybe part of the last to know that this is that, but you hide, you mask in the other one. So, data masking is also a good strategy, right? Especially, I talk about the report. You're feeding in confidential reports for AI to summarize for you. You can, mask some, confidential or personal information. You can mask them out. Other techniques are also pseudonymization. So pseudonymization is just replacing confidential information with pseudonyms, right? In the example here, let's say the name is John. I can, pseudonymize it by saying user 54. So the system or the person who is in charge of this knows that user 54 is so person. So in the AI, while feeding the AI, you just use user 54. So you're not going to use John again. So this is pseudonymization. The other technique is to tokenize the data, so to use tokenization. So tokenization is where you replace the confidential information with tokens, right? So, but you need to maintain, for tokenization, you need to maintain also a lookup table that contains the original data mapped to the tokens, so that with the token you can go later, maybe in a separate database, right? A separate secure database. With the token, then you can go and fetch the original data. So these are some other techniques. So, but one way to really ensure that that you're apart from apart from controlling the data, the input that you feed into these AI models, whether from user perspective by not feeding in confidential information, or from developer perspective, to ensure that the data you use to fine-tune these models or to train to train this model, they don't contain sensitive information. Also, aside from that, from the user perspective, you can also run DeepSeek locally. I showed us earlier the privacy law that is existing in China, which is the PIP, or Personal Information Protection Law. And also, I showed you the DeepSeek privacy policy that they say the servers has been stored in China, and information they collect, like your IP address, device information, and so on and so forth. So somewhere in the privacy policy, they've said that you have the right to request what information DeepSeek collects about you, and you have the right to ask them to delete that. But you never can trust, because I also read in my research that most Chinese companies, they share this information, this data with the government, right? I'm not saying it's only China that does that. So it could be any other AI model. We never can tell. So that's why running these AI models locally without using internet, without connecting to the internet, right? It's also one step, right? Is a good step to protecting your confidential and personal information. So one good way, I'll be showing you how you can deploy the DeepSeek locally. And if you go to lmstudio.ai, LM Studio, I'll be dropping all the links I talked about in this video. I'll drop it in the description of this video below. So if you come to here, so this is where you can download the LM Studio, right? So this is where you can download the LM Studio. So you can download for Mac, you can download for Windows. So because I'm running Windows, I'm just going to click on download for Windows. So I've already downloaded LM Studio, so I won't be doing that again. So I downloaded the one for Windows, so I'll just go ahead to install it. So LM Studio, right? So I'm done downloading the LM Studio app. So one good thing about running these AI models locally is that you're trying to avoid supply chain risk, right? So, and this is in line with the OWASP LLM Top 10, which is LLM number 3, which talk about supply chain risk. You want to be sure that you're downloading these AI models, right, from verified and reputable sources, right? Because there are a lot of repositories for these models that you can find on GitHub, and also applications like LM Studio that you can find. Just make sure that you're downloading from a reputable and verified source to avoid model poisoning, right? Some models could be poisoned or could be skewed, right? So it could be fine-tuned to favor some outputs. So you want to be sure that for the user, you want to be sure that you're doing that to avoid running. You want to be sure that you're downloading from verified and reputable source to avoid running into downloading something that will compromise your security, maybe steal data or do some other harmful thing. Now, from the developer perspective, you want to be sure that you're not running a model that you downloaded from somewhere that the model is poisoned, or the data used to train that model has been poisoned, or it has been tampered with to favor a particular result over the other. So here I'm just going to go ahead and launch, click on finish here, and run the LM Studio. Alright, so this is LM Studio. So first you need to, I already have it running on my system even after really. So if you just go to the top where you see model to load, and you click the model to load, so you can search for any model. You can search for Llama, right? You can search for anyone. You can search for your DeepSeek. So I already have DeepSeek loaded. So you see that the DeepSeek has, a lot of versions. There is a 1.5 B, which is 1.5 billion parameters. There's one of 7 billion parameters. But the LM Studio app will, tell you the one you can safely run on your PC by. So you'll see status information there, and you'll be able to do that. So yeah, it goes all the way to 671 billion parameters. As if you have very strong PC, right? So the one I have here is the DeepSeek R1 model, right? So I can just, load the model, right? So this is the model running for me now. I can just, ask it any question. Just ask it. What is confidentiality? All right. So you see, so I'm currently running it without, using the internet. I'm running in a local on my local PC. So with that, I don't have to worry much about information, being, sent somewhere, right? So everything is running on my local PC. But we can just also confirm that if I go to open my command prompt here, and let me just say, so let's, if I open my command prompt to, look for the process ID for this LM Studio. So that's the name, LM Studio. All right. So I have a lot of services for it here. I have the elements of the exe, LM Studio exe, this process ID here. So what I'll just do is, while the LM Studio is running, I will just go to open a PowerShell. Just open my PowerShell, and what I want to do here is to run this command, right? It's just to run this command. So this command will just help me to fetch any communication, both local and remote server, that that is being contacted, or that any IP address. So I want to see if there's any IP address being used aside from my local address by this process ID. So let me just get the model busy. So explain in detail. Is so important in cyber security. Right. So as it's running, so what I'll just do is I'll just hit on enter on the PowerShell on these commands. So I'll just try and look for any process that is just reduce this. Okay. So I have these processes running. So I'll just see, is there anyone so I have 5760 here, which is this service, right? But you can see the local address and the remote address is not really communicating with any public IP address, right? And so I'm just still looking for I have this 404 as well, this 404 process ID also attached to my LM Studio, and you can see this is a local host 127. So not really any issue there. So still have 65760 here. So just trying to check if I have any other one here. I'm just basically looking for any outside communication through the LM Studio to the internet, to the public internet. All right, so I'm not sure we have any of such information. So running it locally, as we've seen, can also offer some kind of security, and also other things that you can do even from the developer perspective is to ensure that you limit the permission. So especially developers who are using the LLM as agent in the application. So just make sure that the permission, you don't give it excessive permission, and this will be in line with the OWASP LLM number 6, right, which suggests to limit the permissions given to LLM. So like for example, you want an LLM agent to be able to fetch some record, and that's just it. So you're not giving it other permissions to write. Just for example, you're just giving permissions to just read some records. So you make sure. So all those are also meant to ensure that everything is secure. And one also important thing is you want to verify the information that these LLMs or this AI that they give you, because LLMs or AI they are found to be subject or to hallucinate. At times they hallucinate. So hallucination is like when they don't really know what to give them, they just frame a question up. So you want to make sure that you avoid misinformation. Again, misinformation is being addressed in the OWASP LLM number 9, right? So that you want to verify some information, especially if you're relying on ALM on some downstream tasks. You want to make sure that there's human in the loop to actually do the vetting process to ensure that the information being given out is correct and accurate. So other security measures that some of them have pointed them out is to download and use the model only from verified or reputable sources, limit the permission given to LLM agents if you're incorporating LLM into your applications or processes, right? Ensure that you limit the permission to you give the least privilege, right? Only for what the LLM agent is meant to do. Also, you verify information, right? Will be given to LLMs, right? To avoid misinformation. Information given by LLM, the outputs. So you want to verify them to be sure that they are. So I have the model now responding to my earlier question now. So again, I'm going to check run the PowerShell again to see while it's getting done if it fetches any of those information from the internet. So I have this process ID for the LM Studio, and I'll be looking for any process that is using the internet, right, through the LM Studio to connect to the internet to fetch any information. So I can see the 5760 here, but it's using the local host, so not a public internet, right? And there's not part of the process ID we have here. So still checking through to see if there's any communication at all. And you can also verify some of these public IP addresses by going to whatismyip.com, the domain, right? So you can just do a quick search. But I'm just looking through the process ID here and see the one that is attached to a public IP address. All right, so I've checked through. I didn't really see a communication right attached to any of these processes trying to connect to the internet through the LM Studio app. So we can say that it's not if you have the DeepSeek, if you use the DeepSeek through the LM Studio app or any other AI app, right, that your is not connected to the internet. So everything is basically so it's not connecting to a server in China or somewhere else. So it's just using running locally. So and this, but we have to work in line with the zero trust strategy. So you have to also put in place a login and monitoring. So, all right, guys, thank you for following through to the end of this video. Thank you. Please do like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.